Hello and welcome to my craft room with Rhoda. Today we're going to work on a few little specimen slides that I saw Artie Mays do on her channel the other day. And she used some wide washi tape, which had, elements of nature, I guess you would say. And then she took a frame and then she placed the washi on discarded wrapping packaging. So all you need is a couple pieces of scrap, some of the packaging, some washi, a glue stick, and wet glue. And then we're going to work it into a slide. And she also placed little pieces of newsprint on there, news page, and I put a few other things on there. And we're going to finish these up by stamping on them with a couple of different stamps over here. She used the Tim Holtz ones, and I'm going to variegate it. But these are kind of two-sided, and they're also see-through. I mean, you can see the light through it. They're translucent. So, anyhow, let me get this started. These are about 3.5 tall and 4 wide. And the reason being was the size of this. Now, if you have a smaller slide you'd like to do, go right ahead. That would be fine. And what we're going to do here is I've cut this one out to be the size I need it because I believe it's going to be a big one. And then I'm going to cut the back to be the same. Now I used a die cut for mine, which is a 2.5-inch square, but I'm going to kind of show you where you can do it if you don't have the die cut or anything like that you can do it with. So let me get started. All right, I'm measuring my edges here, and it looks like it's a little over 1/2 of an inch top and bottom, and then it's almost an inch this way. And you can play with these numbers. So let's get on here, and we're just going to mark it out using my grid here. How about that? This is about 1/2 of an inch. And then it needed to be almost an inch down, so it's going to be there. So I'm going to use this wonderful little Tim Holtz ruler. I love this thing. I use it for all kinds of reasons. And the top is skinnier. And I'm going to just judge it over here. You can wing it. Now you don't have to make your items two-sided. You can you can make your slides just one-sided if you would prefer, and that would take up less of your merchandise and all that kind of thing. All right, about like, whoop, the bottom was skinnier and the sides were wider. Look, I can't even do it, and I was telling you about it. All right. See, I rely on die cuts a lot. I really do. I use them when I need to, and they really come in handy. But all you gotta do is keep going at it like that, and that's close enough. We'll erase all the yuckies we don't need afterward, and get my little X-Acto knife out here and start going to town. Okay, top and bottom. Yeah. I like to welcome everybody today for coming to visit, and hope everything is going peachy for you, and the weather is nice. Ours is excellent. I'm going to go by the shop today, and I'm curious to see if any of my journals have sold. Oh, I did see somebody remark on the 2 sewing journals that I took down there, so I just wonder. Oh, look, my blade fell out. I just wonder if those are the ones that have probably sold. This is the oldest X-Acto knife in the world. I have had this thing forever. It's still going. It is still going. Now, once you get the one cut out, you're almost home free, because you can just draw the next one in. Did I go Where did I go? I don't even know where I went. We're finishing it with the scissors. All right. I should have done it with the die cut. But I wanted to show you in case you did not have these here at your home. All right. Now, we're just going to erase our flubs here. That can get covered up by a news book page, so don't worry about that. If you mess up anywhere, you can cover it up with book page. Always an easy fix. Okay, there we go. And now the next part, all you got to do is go in here like this and trace it. You're good to go now. I'm going to cut it out with scissors. I'm not going to work with those. But it seems like Specimen Slides and Specimen anything is always like a really popular project that everybody enjoys. We're going to just go in here like this and start going around. You can do that X thing if you prefer, where you can cut it here and here and then work your way in. I'm going to try to preserve as much of this as possible for future collaging purposes. It rained and rained yesterday. Is anybody else getting rain? It rained the whole day. Now, we have something my mother calls the sheep rain. I don't know if anybody else has this or has heard of any of your family talk about the sheep rain, but it's a little too early for that. That's usually in April. But the reason why it's called that is because it usually happens about the time the farmers shear the sheep, and it rains almost a whole week solid. And Mom said she always felt sorry for the little sheep. They're out there shivering and all their fur is gone, or wool, whatever you want to call it. And the poor little guys. I guess that's their life, though. Sometimes they're probably ready to get rid of all that stuff. All right, we're a little crooked, but I think it's okay. This is the back side anyhow. We are going to go next with the piece of packaging that we have. And we're going to put our washi on it. Now, I've got strips here that I strategically cut from the other day. So we're just going to pull these off right now and get them out of the way. Ooh, one of them is going to be this pretty rose. And I love this fern one too. Okay, there we go. We're down to the nitty gritty. This one, I can't remember the company I got it from. It was someplace I ordered them from. And I got quite a few nice pieces. It was a good sized box. And yeah, and all you do is, you don't even use glue. I mean, you just stick it right down. And I'm working with a very tiny, narrow piece right now. I'm trying to use all of it. But you put it down right like that. Now, what I'll do is go in here and cut it. Whoops. It went down all the way on me. But see, where mine's got segments. So it depends on what you've got. Mine has segments. So I'm going to go in here and cut it right there. So I've got the pretty rose. And now I'm going to go in. Ooh, I got a fern next with butterfly. And all I do is go over to the back side. And I try to match it up to that same piece. And we're going to go down again. And make sure you're straight. I think I'm going to go in there first with some of my glue stick. And that is to hold the two pieces together. Because they're not going to be held together otherwise. And it helps. It helps you. Anything that helps you is always a pleasure. Okay. So we're smoothing that down. Now let's go back in there. And it's not going to worry with me now. This is just the fiddly part. All right. Now, we're going to get in here and cut that part off. I'm going to try to preserve my little, well, I don't think I can. Let's just cut it. Let's just cut it. There. And get it out of the way. Now what we're going to do, since we got our pieces together, we're just going to go ahead and trim this out. And the only thing is, you got to make sure your hole in your piece over here is a little bit smaller. I don't have to trim that part. A little bit smaller. I had a request from Tommy to do this. That's why I'm kind of wishy-washy about what I'm doing. I'm just, you know, I'm winging it. Artie Mae's done such a wonderful job. I love to watch her. She's a wonderful mixed media artist and always comes up with something, and she has a great freebies she gives you. Great freebies. And Miss Tommy, she has her own YouTube channel, Paper Crafting with Miss Tommy. She does quite a bit of wonderful things as well. Sorry for that. It's early for me, so the frog is about. It is about. Okay, so now all we got to do is put our back on and smooth it down. And this holds them all together. You just got to get your glue all the way up to your edges. I don't worry about seepage. I'm going to blot it off. This is washi that has a surface on it, so it's not going to... Here, let me get my other finger in here. That's about what this tweezer is. It's my other finger. Now, the only part is you don't know exactly where you're going with your back piece. So sometimes it's half in and half out, but I think it adds to the mystery. Now, you could have got in here and inked. You could have inked your edges, and I did that on some of mine. This is just kind of a little demo one. So we're not getting too fancy. Now, what we're going to do next is see if we need to trim anywhere, and usually you do. I can never get them to be exactly even. Never. Okay. And a little bit right here. That's the bane of life. You can never get even Steven. All right. That's done. Now, I'm done with the glue. I'm done with everything. Oh, no, wait a minute. Book page. I'm going to show you how to do the book page. Okay. I always go over to the dark side. It's the story of my life. But I've got some little ripped pieces of book page. Just make sure you don't put nothing nasty on there now. You always proof your work. But what we're going to do, we're just going to go in and kind of put them down. Remember I was talking about hiding those bad spots? Well, there's one right there. I got a little cut that I don't want anybody to see. So we're going to stick that right here. And then we're going to put one on the other side. And we're going to try to go up a little higher with him, so he's a little different looking. And I still hid that little cut. And we're going to put one kind of down here. You want to kind of stagger them. And I was going in there and coloring the edges of the book page and everything. And, you know, I think they look just as fine as they are. They don't have to be inked around and that kind of stuff. They kind of hold their own. Now this one, I think I'm gonna rip him. And what I'm gonna do is, it'll let go of my finger. I'm gonna come in on the edge on one of the sides. Because it's nice to do like they're extended out and they're coming in. Kind of a situation. I'm going to put him up there. Kind of like going off the top. There. And then all you got to do is trim. And we're going to go ahead and cap our glue and do some trimming. Trim, 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 trim. Ooh, trim too much. There we go. No, I may have needed to trim that. Okay, Syrah, Syrah, right? All right, now that's done. Now, the part we're up to now. Now, the reason you see little dots on this one is I've got a set of nested squares, and every other one has that little, what do they call those? Sew lines or something? So I went and used that. I thought that was cute. Now, you could get in here and stamp with some, it already has a little bit of a cracked look to it, but you could do some of that on here, and I may on some. And then others, I'm going to do like little flowers here. Let's try these out and see how they do. Now, I'm not sure because we're going over some ridges. Like I'm going to try one right there. One of these little tiny guys. Let's see. I like that. And I have not used these. I just got them the other day at Hobby Lobby. On clearance. Well, got to get some ink. Okay, I got myself a little inking area here so I don't mess up my block or my mat, because I'm going to go off just a little bit. And I'm going to do a little practice run up here on some of them. You always want to do a couple of stamp offs first in a brand new stamp. It starts to get the ink down into the little pores, and you get a much, much better stamp from it. Now we're going to go right here, go kind of off just a tad, and hold it down. And see what she does. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I thought this one would be the best stamp for me, pad, because it's got so many different little things on it. Oh, look at that. That turned out nice. I'm going to do another one with that. It's nice and bold. You can see it. I'm not exactly sure what that is. A balloon flower? It's probably a weed. Who knows? But I think that adds to the look. Yeah. So we can alternate. We can do other things. I wish I had a fern. Now see this one, I've got the stuff on that side, the little pieces of newspaper, and I actually used some scraps that I had as well. But let's see what it looks like with the lighter side. And then I'll change out. But this part, all it's going to be is stamping. And then it's, you know, you're done. Let's wipe that off. I have a little system here. I'll keep my wipe off pad and a little excess wrapper, an old wrapper. Okay, we're going to stick this one over here on here to dry, and we're going in for another one. What's next? We have, I like this one. This is the one I was going for at the beginning. Oops. Oh, he didn't want to come off of there. Another that I'm not really sure the identification. But, ooh, yep, it's coming out good already. Let's see. Let me pick another one. And it's going to be, and see, some of them's got this pretty green on the back of it. Well, that one's pretty dark. I don't think I'd even see this little stamp on that one. So we'll go to this side. Ooh, you need a bold stamp if you've got a really dark background. This is kind of medium, so these should come out. And you could see the detail. And I over-stamped it. That's why you got all that black on the edge. Let's try another. Let's try this lighter side and see how she turns out. And that's what you want to do. You just want to put your stamp block pad down and kiss it, kiss it, kiss it. And then a lot of people will go to their pad and do like that. Now, I'm guessing it doesn't matter either way. I've done it both ways. But they always say it's better to take your little stamp to the block. All right, we got that one done. Now we're going to go for some numbers. And I'll come back in here later. You'd get bored if you watched me stamp all that time. You just would not want it. Let's get in here with Mr. Tim Holtz. This is Field Notes. All-time favorite. I think it's the all-time favorite of everybody. Everybody loves this thing. Now, I left mine on the thing. I've left all the little pieces around it. And what we're going to do is some numbers. I like this big old number right here. 785. I have no idea if it has a particular meaning. But we're going to flip this over. Oh, we already got a number on that side. Well, let's just go to this one. And put it up here in the corner. Right there. And you can go with smaller numbers. Some of these larger ones might not look good. So you can always go smaller. Now, this is really bold. I'm going to do like I said not to do. This really bold one I'm going with right here. Although I already had a number on there. But see, I kind of went and stamped off onto there. Okay. I think I saved it. But some of these, it just won't fit on. It's just too big. So let's go for another one. She used, Artie Mays, she used a lot of the little ones. So let's go for that. She has the right idea because she's the expert. Where was that little guy she was using? It's a little skinny one. I think it's this one right here. Little skinny guy. And it looks almost like you've cataloged the number of the species or something. Yeah, she did just like that. Yeah, that looks much better. That's okay. These are going to the shop. And I've been trying to come up with some ideas. Now, I'm thinking I want to do something. You know, I've got my big journals there, and I don't know if everybody's going to want a big journal or pay the price for that big of a journal. So I thought, you know, some people might like a bare journal, you know, B-A-R-E, where it doesn't have anything in it, and they can fill it themselves, or they can just write in it themselves with whatever they choose. I believe I'm going to make several like that, and I'm going to call it a build-a-journal. So I'm making these pieces of ephemera that will go and be sold separately on the table. And then what they can do is they can buy whatever little pieces of ephemera, and each week I'll have something different, or each couple weeks. It just depends. I think it will pull customers back to the store for the two girls, and it will, you know, give them something to look forward to, which is always good. It's always good to, you know, it's like Christmas, it's like birthdays. Got a little bit something to get you through the week. All right, I think I'll put that other one, little one here. So, you've got the idea, right? You can see where I'm going. So, and you've got a chance to see about all of these as well. That's what they look like. And it's just a repeated piece of washi tape. So you've got almost the same pieces on each side. But I'll go through and I'll do a couple little stamps on each end. Some of them's got that green on it. Some of them's got that pale yellow. But I went with this one for the front of all of them, I believe. But that was kind of interesting. I really love this. And this is a big slide to go in there. Now, you could come in and round these corners if you wanted to. I didn't because I figured a slide was not rounded. It's almost like a photograph, you know. So, anyway, I really appreciate everybody coming to see me. I think I've showed you everything I need to show you. I did do a few more of the paper bag journals to go into the shop. She said these may be a better seller because they're smaller and be less expensive. So this one was themed around roses, and I was just kind of taking, you know, scraps and stretching out the digitals, because the digital will make it higher because that takes more ink. But I used a bunch of scrapbook paper in here when I could. And of course in here you got these really huge journal cards. That's where you would be doing your journaling. Plus in here, you can write all over these books. But I had a peacock. She requested peacocks specifically. So, you know, I've got cards and things like that in here with peacocks on them. I made a little tuck here in case they'd like to tuck something in. So I really enjoyed making these. They did take longer than I thought, though. They did. So, I'm not sure where to go with that. Now, she also requested mushrooms. She said that's one of the hot commodities nowadays. And, of course, this one had bugs on the other side. So, the mushrooms and the bugs had to go together. They just did. Okay, well, I thank you so much. And I have a paper bag journal that is going to be sold, or not sold. It's going to be a giveaway on my Rhoda's Junk page here in the next week or so. I got to do a little post on it and tell you how to get in on the drawing. And it's in thank you of me reaching a few more of my milestones. But anyway, thank you. Thank you for coming. Everybody have a great day. Thank you all my subscribers. Bye-bye.